Elio guys, and welcome back. In today's old video though, we have the updated version of baby girl Odin, aka her ultimate evolution. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so I think everyone has been waiting ever since like Ultimate Evolutions was announced, period. And then Smart Study did the very weird champ thing of where they introduced Arthur and Purse at the same time, though Purse isn't even a contract mon. So for a while it was like Arthur and Purse was just reigning supreme until Valk came out, I believe earlier this year, and now we have Odin finally. I'm not sure what the decision was with that. But anyways, Odin, I'm just going to say outright, she looks awesome. She still has everything that we love about Odin, which, you know, you can tell from her back detail is very interesting. But yeah, she looks, honestly, she's probably my favorite looking Ultimate Evolution. I do think Purse is second in line. And while I'm a big fan of Arthur, I don't mind Arthur's original look. Like, there's not much of a difference, but I just love the over-the-topness and all these like ribbons and stuff hanging off Odin. She looks freaking rad, and plus she's a baby girl. But anyways, we have Fire Odin here. She is a tank type, and at level 60 with her Ultimate Evolution applied, she's sitting at 47,000 HP, 2.2k attack, and then 3.3k defense, nearly 3.4k. So interesting stat distribution, but remember, as a Ultimate Evo mon, she has boosted up stats by 10%, so it's like understandable. Have a good day. But taking a look at her skills though, for her 3-star skill, there's defense down, which grants 80% chance to reduce the enemy's defense for 2 turns. The 5-star skill, which is attack down, and this is also 2 turns. And then her ultimate skill is resistance down, which they recently buffed, putting that up to 25% chance to reduce the enemy's resistance for 2 turns. Now I'm going to go ahead and outright say it, nothing has changed with her. Yes, she looks awesome, but as a debuffer, there's just better options. There's cheaper options. I do remember like early on in MSO, she was being used because of her defense down and attack down to kind of supplement other mons. But since we have other mons that do the exact same job, if not better, because Weaken has been introduced into the game, she's pretty much just like a slot holder as you begin the game. But as soon as you start building like serious Titan teams, there's no point in using her at all. In terms of like the Elemental Tower of Chaos, that could be potentially useful because, I mean, technically you're not losing anything other than gold if you decided to Ultimate Evo her. But I don't know how many people are rocking a Evo 3 Fire Odin. But with books though, defense down gets a 15% damage boost and goes up to 100% for 2 turns, and then attack down receives a 15% damage boost and only goes up to 90% for 2 turns. So not worth the books, not at all. But hey, at least regardless of whatever element of Odin that you like or dislike, she looks awesome. Alright, coming in after that though, we do have Water Odin, who is a balanced type, and she is sitting at nearly 31k HP in terms of her Ultimate Evolution, 3.5k attack, and also I'll just go ahead and say 3.5k defense as well. So very interesting stat distribution. Once again, as a balanced type, this is pretty standard. I mean, attack and defense are a little bit higher than normal, but her HP pool is actually, I would say, within reason, which is kind of insane considering she does have an Ultimate Evolution being applied to her base HP. But I mean, it's fine. Taking a look at her skills though, so for her 3-star skill, she has stun, which grants 100% chance to stun the enemy. If you're new to MSL and somehow came across this video as your first time, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest, greatest, and more from your boy. But stun is just a form of crowd control where the enemy cannot act. And for the 5-star skill, it's the same move, however it's obviously AoE, and it has an 80% chance to stun the enemy for 1 turn. So already, her kit is just based on purely crowd control. So in a PvP situation where you can prevent the opposing Astromons from acting, this is a usable mon. And with her stat distribution, you can get away with building her more of a bruiser type build, which is essentially like HP attack defense, because all of her stats naturally go in that triangle in terms of distribution. And there's not really much damage to be getting out of her in general though, because with her kit being double stun doesn't have any added effects. But her ultimate skill is damage reduction, which activates once her HP hits 50%. and it reduces incoming damage that she receives by 50% for 1 turn. I'm not sure if this is a one-time deal. I'm assuming, even though I could be wrong, that as long as she's below 50% and she's still getting hit and she doesn't die, that it'll continue to activate, but I could be wrong because sometimes things that make sense in reality just never ever happen. Skill wise though, her 3-star stun receives a 15% damage boost and goes up to 2 turns. Okay, I like the sound of that. And then the 5-star stun also receives a 15% damage boost, goes up to 90% for 2 turns. So those books are pretty damn good. Those books are what Nat 5 books should be, but I mean, she does have a better kit, at least in my opinion, than Fire Odin. It's just that, are you willing to dump all of your Nat 5 books into Water Odin? I mean, for science, or if you like her, that's fine, but once again, there's just cheaper options that get the same thing done. Like Light Leo, for example, he's obviously nowhere near as tanky as she is, but even if you're a free-to-play player, as long as you wait until the anniversary comes around, you can pick him off of your selector. And even then, it's like, why would you pick Light Leo if you can pick freaking Light Yuki, who does the exact same job, but shock not only, prevents them from acting, but also lowers their defense slightly. So it's just like, there's just other options that exist, making this Astramon, even though she has Ultimate Evolution, pretty much just an entry-level Astramon unless you want to go through a whole bunch of investment. Coming in after that, though, we do have Wood Odin, who is an attacker type, our first attacker type of the Odins, but she's sitting at 31k HP, which she has more HP than balanced Water Odin. Okay, and her attack is 4.3k, and then her defense is 2.8k. So we do see a sharp decrease in defense and a sharp increase in attack, which makes sense as an attacker type, but I think her stat distribution is quite wonderful, and her attack is honestly quite high. And I recently had done a what was it, the Nat 5s with the highest attack. I'm not going to change that video. If I remind myself, I will just like pin a comment if anything has changed. But let's go ahead and take a look at her skill set before I rant on and on about that. So for her 3-star skill, she has HP Siphon, which restores her own HP in terms of the damage that she has dealt to the enemy. And for the 5-star skill, there's Defense Down with an 80% chance of happening, and it reduces the enemy's defense for 2 turns. And then her ultimate skill is Attack Up, which once again, when I read like the maintenance notes, I was like, wow, dude, this sounds pretty interesting. But then I'll take a look at her kit and I'm just like, why? This is essentially like Wood Valk, but the next step up, which, in case you guys don't know, Wood Valk is just one of the Astramons that we never talk about because she doesn't do anything. She heals herself. Her stat distribution, because she's a balanced Astramon, is fine, but there's just nothing to her. She's not bad, but she's not good, so she's just there existing. This is the next step up because at least she has self-sustain on one move and a debuff on the second move, and then her ultimate skill, once she gets set off, obviously she can boost up everyone's attack, but it doesn't mitigate the fact that her moves in themselves aren't geared towards damage. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get damage off of her, but it's just that the way that she's built is kind of awkward, I would say. At least with Wood Arthur, if I'm remembering correctly, he has like HP Siphon and what was it, like Attack Down or something like that. So I mean, similar boat here. Obviously both of them are, I want to say, attacker types, but if you have them on something like a pugilist set or something like that, maybe that's going to work out for you better than just a normal set. But it's up to you if you want to take the time and investment into this baby girl, because at the end of the day, at least you'll look cool. But anyways, HP Siphon receives a, 25% damage boost, and then Defense Down also receives a 25% damage boost. No increase in rate or anything for that Defense Down, man. Stingy. Alright, coming in after that though, we do have Light Odin, who's a tank type once again, and man, she just looks so good, dude. She looks clean. That is just super clean. Let me see the variant real quick. Yeah, she still just looks freaking clean, dude. She doesn't even look like an MSO character, which is just awesome. But anyways, her HP pool is 53,000. I'm not sure how much Dark Arthur's is. Let me see real quick, because I mean, I'm doing this review right here, right now. I have to see. I need to have answers right now. Okay. She's coming in hot. She's coming in like less than well, technically a little bit more than 1,000 HP than freaking Dark Arthur, but still, her HP pool is just absolutely great. But yeah, 53,000 or 53k HP, 2.3k attack, and then 3.2k defense. Since she is a tank type though, having all that HP makes sense, and with her being a light type as well, it is easier to build her with crit rate if you wish to do so, but keep in mind that isn't necessary, because taking a look at her skills kind of dictates how you should hopefully gem her. So for her 3-star skill, she has Adrenaline, which restores allies' HP into amount equal to 10% of her own max HP. So the higher HP that you have on this baby girl, the more potent her heals are going to be. Then for her 5-star skill, HP Aggression, once again, the more HP that you have on this baby girl, the more damage she's going to do. And for her ultimate skill, she has an HP based shield, which grants a shield to allies proportional to her own max HP. So if you're like Odin isn't on triple HP, then congratulations, you're playing yourself. Like, there's no other way around that. If you wanted to make her offensive, I guess if you had like hella good freaking subs like Agent Angel, you would have a, you know, max resist, max crit rate freaking triple HP light Odin on a Ruin set, but we all can't have those wonderful things here. But taking a look at her skill books, her Adrenaline gets a 25% damage boost, doesn't increase in potency at all. Go ahead and make that 15%, man. Make it 15%. And HP Aggression also receives a 25% damage boost. But I do want to say that Light Odin is one of the contract mods, because I didn't really talk about the contracts before. But the RGBs, pick whatever you want for RGBs. Some players end up picking the same RGBs that they end up picking for Light and Dark. You can flip-flop in between them if you want to. It's really just a matter of choice of what you want to do with that, because Light Odin is one of the choices, and her super evolution, well, let me correct that. Her ultimate evolution, in my opinion, is fine. I don't mind that shield at all. That synergizes well with the rest of her kit, and her HP pool being increased even more, it just improves her. We do have other passive healers that the game kind of gives out to you, which is Water Persephone, but it doesn't mean that you can't have both of them on the same team if you somehow wanted to. So it's up to you where you want to use this baby girl at. At the earlier part of my game, because I did pick Light Odin on this account here, I was using her quite a lot. Do I use her now? No, but with his ultimate evolution being added, I could definitely see her being a lot more annoying in arena because of that shield. So keep that in mind when you think about picking one of these guys. And I may do an updated video too of just talking about contract mods in general and what I think may be the best choice for any players out there. But do remember, it's just advice. That's all it is. Alright, and to go ahead and shut things down here, we do have Dark Odin, who's a balanced type, and yeah, man. Okay, I'm not sure if I like variant or unvariant Odin for Dark Odin. I mean, both of them look just hella cool, dude. Hella cool. But yeah, Dark Odin is coming in with 35k HP, 3.7k attack, and then 3.3k defense. Now, before her ultimate evolution, Dark Odin has been suffering for quite a while, where I was stating that she needed a rework. I was hoping that she, Dark Odin, and at least Fire Odin would get a rework in the future, but I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen. That was just something that I desired, because, you know, I could go on and on about that, but yeah. I just wish that she got changed, but we have to work with what we have here. So for her 3-star skill, she has Battle Rush, which attacks restore 20% of her own HP and SP. So think of HP Siphon, but you also get SP back. Now, I'm not a super big fan of Battle Rush because 20% isn't that much, but depending on the other Ashmans that you may have in your team, this could be very beneficial, and it does guarantee that she's going to get her SP bar up. But you don't have any control of how much SP she gets up, you know, because obviously orbs do what orbs do best. And for the 5-star skill, she has Defense Down, which grants an 80% chance to reduce the enemy's defense for 3 turns. And then for her ultimate skill, which is kind of odd to me, I don't think it makes a super big difference, but it probably makes a slight difference somewhere. She has Predator, which critical hits increase damage dealt by 25%. That is huge because this kind of shifts Dark Odin more towards the attack side than anything else, because as I stated before, she's always been on the fence of you can build her offensively or defensively, because while defense down doesn't really bring that much damage to the table in itself, obviously once defense down is applied, you can get some more damage out of her. With Battle Rush, there is some self-sustainment too, so if you wanted to go more attack based on her, you can at least guarantee that she's going to get heals off. And a combination with her being a dark type too, having that innate higher crit damage means you're just going to get more damage out of her anyways. It's just that she wasn't a very good damage dealer, and also she's not a very good tanky type of mon either as a debuffer, just because of her stat distribution. But with the Ultimate Evolution, at least in my opinion, it does kind of skew her more towards getting damage out of her, because you could Ultimate Evo her, but if she has no crit rate, there's really no point other than aesthetics, which, it's none of my business if you want to do it for aesthetics. I totally understand with this baby girl here. But if she has max crit rate or near max crit rate, you can take advantage of that Predator for sure. But Battle Rush receives a 20% damage boost and goes up to 25%, which, okay, that's money right there. And then Defense Down also receives a 25% damage boost and goes to 100% for 3 turns. Okay, once again, those are some solid books. And she is one of the contract mons, of course, so you can pick Light and Dark Odin if you want. I ended up doing this on my main account because back in my day, we didn't have any of this Ultimate Evolution. Some of the other Astromon, in terms of Light and Dark especially, had terrible movesets regardless, but I think Dark Odin has pretty much stayed the same. But I do think with this upgrade, Dark Odin isn't a nuker at all. She's never going to be a nuker unless her kits change, but she is a usable form of DPS now. She is a viable form. I'm not going to say she's freaking S tier. I'm not going to say that she's trash, but she is better and geared more towards that, as we can see also with the naturally higher attack stat that she's showing, even though that she's a balanced type. So overall, I think these Ultimate Evolutions are nice to have in the game. I think she's honestly the best looking one out of the bunch. And if I had to rate these baby girls, I would say that Light Odin, still in my opinion, is number 1 on the list, followed by Dark Odin. After that, it's really up to user discretion here, but I would say that maybe Wood Odin, even though her kit is kind of awkward to me, but her attack stat is pretty chunky, followed by Water, and then last and definitely least is going to be Fire. But feel free to leave in the comments below about what your favorite Odin is, you guys. Is she also your favorite Ultimate Evolution, or are you more of like a Purse or Arthur stan? Feel free to leave that in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.